Financial disclaimer. The information provided in this stream is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as professional financial or investment advice. We are not licensed financial advisors, and the content presented here is based on our personal opinions and experiences. Investing in stocks and other financial instruments involves risk, including the potential loss of capital. Any investment decisions you make are solely your own responsibility, and you should conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial professional before making any investment choices. The content we share on this stream may not be accurate, complete, or up to date. Market conditions and financial regulations can change rapidly, and we cannot guarantee the accuracy or reliability of the information presented. We do not endorse or promote any specific stocks, companies, or investment strategies. Any actions you take based on the content of this stream are at your own risk, and we will not be held liable for any losses or damages that may occur as a result. Always remember that past performance is not indicative of future results, and no investment is guaranteed to be profitable. Make informed decisions and consider your risk tolerance before investing any funds. By accessing and using this stream, you acknowledge and agree that we are not responsible for any investment decisions you make as a result of the content presented. You are encouraged to seek advice from qualified financial professionals for personalized guidance. Please invest responsibly and only with money you can afford to lose.
Hey man, just found the next guaranteed multi-bagger.
Hey man, you found another one? What is it this time?
Come check this out.
Okay, next please. How can I help you, young man?
We will go all in on M10. We believe they are struck from a final more than most, and we have belief in the management.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check and it's gone.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Laughing Stock. Dane, how are you?
Good, how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. It's been an interesting week, maybe a bit of a promising week. I think from being a bit like careful, I've seen some signs this week that has made me a bit positive moving forward, especially the volume coming in and NASDAQ kind of breaking out from a perfect VCP, right?
Yeah, it's right there. Friday looked good too, so I'm hoping. I would love to see this market turn up.
Yeah, the last weekend when we streamed, on that same day we had some news that impacts everything, but it did not affect the market so much. I didn't see so much volatility or anything, and it's been pretty quiet ever since that news were breaking, right? I haven't heard much noise around it. I saw there was some other news in USA recently, but that was nothing to do with the Venezuela thing, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not even sure, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, the markets don't care.
Yeah, no, it didn't seem like we can jump into the chart straight away here, because we were just speaking about, the Russell. This is the IWM. The Russell looks pretty ready to take or to continue further up from where it is right now, I think. We went back a little bit and we looked at the kind of like the bottom you see here right now. There was a massive sell-off, and then the next day it came back with a great volume and then kind of found some support here on the 20-day first and then the 50-day, but there's almost no sell volume. But of course this is around New Year's Eve, so a little bit like this is not the typical market action, right? But and then for a week straight now, it just has gone up on volume, and then like I talked about with the NASDAQ, it's like 3 bottoms here, and then now it did break out, and there has been some buying volume coming in this week.
Right.
We talked previously about Friday 19th of December and that volume bar down here, and then it was a bit careful in this period, but it was hard to predict where it was going to go, but now it seems like we get some signs at least that it will continue upwards a bit.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Yeah.
And actually, I was just thinking about it. I mean, the that has that clear, 3 high low or higher lows like we were talking about. But if you go back to the Russell chart,
Yeah.
and you zoom back a little bit, you know how Minervini says like you get those dips, which are kind of like shakeouts essentially, and there's always like a real big one, which would be the tariff time there. So I don't know what that was, peak to trough in terms of percentage, but like probably almost like 30%. No, back in April.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, so like this first dip, that's like your 30% shakeout. This next one as you zoom forward. Yeah, that like that's like a 30%, and then keep going forward. Wait, keep going, keep going. Like to the most recent one in November, December-ish. Yeah. So here's your next dip. That's a shakeout, and that one's probably only, I don't know, 10%.
That was like 10.
And then
here.
Yeah, and then like, the week before last, that kind of last little dip here is probably more like 6.
Yeah, 5, 6, yeah.
And you just keep having it like crunch it, like, as that liquidity keeps drying up. And now this could really be the start of a big move.
Yeah, look down here. I don't know if you can see my beautiful drawing, but these bars here, I have my volume bars a little bit different now. There's a setting or indicator you can get in TradingView. Basically, it blocks out a little bit of the noise in the volume through coloring. So the stuff that matters when it's like I don't remember the exact calculation, but it is like relative to some past bars, it comes with some colors. So green just pretty much means good, right? So there's a lot of green.
Yeah. So right there, guys, green bars are good.
Green is good. So this is once again, this is what you get in the Laughing Stock channel. With
you're gonna find insights.
Yeah. No, but it looks good, and a lot of the stuff that we trade are included in the or it's connected to the Russell, right, and also the NASDAQ, of course. But both and S&P also, all of them. I think S&P, I think like the NASDAQ and I got more confirmation here looking at this one this week.
Yeah, I always just hope the best for the Russell for all my value bros.
Yeah.
Who have been waiting for, if you're just invested across the board in small and like medium caps, I hope this is your year.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that facetiously. I'm saying that as a previous value investor.
Which one did I look at the other day that I don't remember which.
So when we were just pulling the stream up, I had my dashboard up and I was just like looking through. And it's funny now because like I don't think I would have had this nuance a little bit ago, and now I feel like I'm starting to see it. And then like I know a few things to go check to see if something looks good to me. And there was the ticker ZNTL. Zentalis Pharmaceuticals or some nonsense.
Yeah.
No offense to that company, but interestingly enough, the thing that caught my eye is it's up 32%. But if you had just looked too on December 31st, they had a huge insider buy.
Okay.
And now, if I was looking for things that would catch my eye, that would be it. And then you pull it, and so quickly I'm just looking like, okay, well, what's going on with the chart? And it's like, man, look at the 31st, and it's not a perfect contraction bar in terms of like what we look for. But if you're doing deep value and then you're just using the chart to kind of figure out if there is any kind of contraction, maybe we're coming out of a base. This is like such a perfect example, because then on top of it, like, this is why Roaring Kitty would say, like, I would wait until there's insider buying, and I would weigh that very heavily, because you have this stock that's been contracting and at this long base now since April. This is basically a stock that dropped in that April collapse and then just never recovered. I mean, sure, it did technically double from, you know, or bottom to like August sometime in there. But as it pulls back down, then you get that news that there's that huge insider buy and the stock just takes off. Like this is the kind of like nuance I would be looking for, you know, going back to this style, because I do feel like there's a lot you can see here.
Yeah, and what a move. I think it was 180% in 4 sessions.
Yeah. And you know, you wouldn't take a huge position in this if you were doing deep value, but you don't need to if you're catching this kind of big moves. And this could be just the start of a move. Who knows? I mean, this could take some time.
And that's what I kind of said to you before. Like, let me just quickly go through some tickers I have put on my watch list now. Like you see so many big, you know, violent moves straight up now.
Yeah.
A lot of the charts look like this. Like they come out of a little bit of a correction below the 200-day moving average, and then it comes on volume.
Well,
and I've seen
like
so many right now.
Say, like you when you start to see all these breakouts, that means the market's going to follow through. Like the individual stocks lead the market.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm seeing it all now. It's just it's kind of crazy to watch it, you know, after assuming I learned something.
Yeah, it's like, I think we spoke about this, but it's still hard to execute correct, you know.
That's what what I have left to keep working on is the execution side. I feel like at this point, my whole setup, I like it. I had a good week, and I keep seeing stocks in my list do really well. So like you said, now it's just making sure I can get in and then having a good system to stay in.
Yeah. No, so I've been very keen because there's so many in the lists that I'm going through now that I'm just gonna track until they give me an opportunity to take them, and probably then they will be back in a stage 2 uptrend, you know. Like this one, and a lot of them have high ADR. I have a list for, you know, just high ADR stocks as well. I think I added one now to my daily watch list. If you pull up SOPA, SOPA, ADR is 23%. Small market cap, but once again, like, it does look a little bit good right now to me. I don't like the chart previously necessarily, but to me there has been a change now in this move up. And if you just, you know, you can take a smaller position and have a very tight stop loss here, and if it goes up, you will be included in it. Yeah,
this looks like it could violently go up too.
Yeah, like Kulamagi speaks about these, not exactly this type, but these types of high ADR stocks.
Oh, I didn't realize this market cap. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, it's small.
I know.
I know. But still, if I see it is breaking out, I could take it just to try, you know.
Yeah, I would just have to know what it's going to do intraday. But even the intraday chart, I mean, there's pretty clear flags and stuff in the intraday.
Yeah.
So
but that's
there's
just
probably opportunity to take this.
Yeah. And the high ADR movers that I have been tracking also, they look like the same. They have had a big violent move now straight up, pulling back a bit, some of them, and just wait till you see the setup. SLS, for example, look at the volume coming in. Big move.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Although I feel like this is that got a bit overextended.
Yeah. But it has some, like the pullback, it had this like 35%. So right now it's actually not below 4 times its ATR percentage above the 50-day, but that's also because
No, no,
the high
it looks
ADR.
like it could base here. I agree
Yeah.
with that. It's just that no, I'm saying like it's a crazy move.
Yeah. But no, like there's a lot of tickers right now that has these kind of moves and that you just want to see move sideways for a bit. And then I've also seen some past leaders maybe starting to go down a little bit. So there is a little bit of a change, you know.
Yeah. Which is also, I feel like, indicative of the next chapter. You know, like you
Yeah.
see the leaders kind of cycle out, and some new guys all start getting pumped.
Which I have waited for that a little bit because I was pretty clear early on that I kind of missed the move for 25. I didn't know enough then. Now I feel like I'm more on the ball, and it comes down to the execution part, which has for me has been tricky this week. I've seen many setups, but they have shaken me out on the same day that I took them. So it's still something I need to practice and become better at, but it has been a bit hard to stick in a few names. But I am in FTAI, I am in VOYG and GCT right now, and they have performed pretty good for me.
Yeah, and all of those, if I remember right, all of those look good. Like each one of those charts look pretty good to me.
And that the ants showed up in FTAI, Dane, which is just indicating institutional buying.
Yeah, I actually like all those charts too.
Yeah. And this space is going crazy. Aerospace and defense. Look at these tickers that have. You have Rocket Lab, SIDU, Lunar, Redwire, PRZO, ISSC. That starts to move sideways, Dane. It looks very interesting. It's still extended, but maybe the 50-day will catch up to this one and it will give you a clear setup.
Yeah, I feel like I had that on my list, and then that candle on Wednesday made me back out just because I wanted to see it keep shaping up after that.
That's exactly what I want also. It's not on my daily watch list. This is just in the group. But this is like, I'm very interested to get in on this because I think this will perform very good.
Yeah, I think this one looks like it's still forming up like that Wednesday. The fact that it was down, it just means there's still just a few too many sellers.
Yeah.
And but it looks like it could definitely keep setting up. It looks like someone's buying.
Yeah, but those candles that you're talking about on Tuesday and Wednesday, they also have above 100 in R-Vol. So this is some heavy selling.
Yeah,
but that's kind of what you want.
It just needs more time when I look
it needs
at
more time, right?
Yeah.
So you know, the title of the stream is turn a base up. So we want to see the heavy bases going here, so we can get into some of these names.
You know, we really should have adjusted the opening video to something with some sick bass.
yeah, we need to do that. We need some suggestions to renew maybe a few things on the stream, but yeah, let us know in the Discord if you have some ideas. But you know, SATL, PL, AVAV, and then the one I have taken, VOYG. I think this group looks fantastic.
Yeah, they're all names that keep popping in and out of my list.
Yeah. Definitely something I'm watching closely. You have more tickers than this in the group as well. This is just the ones I have found that has gone in on heavy volume lately. And most of them has some good fundamentals.
I had a lot of things shaping up for me. It looks pretty good this week for me. There was a few days I couldn't really watch, so I missed some days, but I think every day this week on my list, usually around like 3, maybe 2, but let's say 2 to 4 stocks would be over 15% for the day. And there was like a decent chance of getting into it. So not obviously it's not as easy as it sounds, because especially with my strategy now, which is essentially to take the spot. If it doesn't go right up, just get out and then wait for the next, setup that you see, and then try again. Which that approach has done really well this week.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say?
You got into MBX, right?
Yeah, MBX. I nailed it essentially and got 3% on that one.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Yep.
So was it kind of like this, my drawing right here that you saw there? Because I missed this one, but I really like it here, and I also like it where it is right now.
Yeah, I think I had it on my list from probably like Monday-ish or something like that. And then I know I had kind of broken down, but it tapped on that last day. It kind of tapped the bottom there on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So I didn't take it off the list. And then when I saw it, open up like higher on Wednesday, it just looked to me like that wedge. Like if you bring your bottom line down to the bottom of Tuesday.
Yeah. Bottom of Tuesday. Here, yeah.
Yeah, like draw a line from there back.
I have no idea. What are you saying, Dane?
Like that. Yeah, something more like that.
Yeah.
Either way, Wednesday just looked like it was breaking out. So I took that. Yeah. And I've been really strict lately. I will agree that it looks like swing trades are starting to work, as in there's multi-day and multi-week things that are going to keep going. So I'll probably start to trim instead of just ending my whole position. But right now, I've just been exiting the position. I catch those big days that stocks have, and I'm going pretty heavy. So I'm just trying to get 3 or so percent, and as it moves up, I incrementally move my stop point from like a percentage point. So I'll go up 0.5% when it's up 1.5, and then I'll go up to 1% when it's up like 3 or 6. And I'm talking about where my stop loss would be. So my gain overall on the portfolio would be 1%. So the stock, has to move triple whatever my percent is, because I'm taking around 30% position sizes. But yeah, if I go right in and I don't really see that I'm in one of those upturns, I just get out. And like MBX, if you look on that day too, it just took off right in the morning. So it was one of those ones that you could get right into, and it kind of held.
That's what I was trying to draw with my license. Like I tried to figure out how much it did move. It seems like 13%, 13.5%.
I think, midday though, it was up like 20%.
Yeah,
so
at the max it was 20, yeah.
And if you're just tuning into the stream for some reason and you haven't watched all our videos along, I tend to, we're not trying to capture the whole move. I just want like a section of it. And, that's the whole point of going decently heavy with that is, you only need, I'm trying to, it's not scalp. I don't want to say I'm scalping, but like, if it pulls back, I'm out. I don't care. I'll get what I get. And then the idea would be too, is right now, since I don't love the longer term move in terms of like a normal swing trade, I'll wait till like end of day and then I'll get out. So if it continues to run up, that's kind of like my last way of staying in the trade as long as possible. But if I do consider or continue to see stuff last for a few days, I'll start to trim maybe half the position or just a third, and then let the rest ride, and to do more of a real swing trade. So I just have to see the market show that to me.
I have seen some talk about on social media about how this market can be compared to what Minervini called in 21, I think it was. Like I don't remember what he called, but the point was, right now it's better to day trade in some of these names, like you were saying, instead of holding overnight, because things can pull back on you. There's a lot of candles like this one.
Right. MBX is a good example of it pulling back, but it continues to set up. So it doesn't make me think I'm in the wrong stock. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And in my list at least, there are some examples now with pretty long bases, few of these names, they seem to, if they're going to break out, you're going to catch a good move on some of these.
Right.
So yeah, a bit excited to see. I just hope I can catch a few of these if they do end up moving up. We also talked briefly before the stream, Dane, about how the miners and how also gold and silver and platinum and all that stuff that got hit pretty strongly just a few days ago actually seems to have taken it on the chin, and they don't care. They
Yeah.
want to still climb higher.
Yeah, there's definitely still buyers coming in.
We look at the gold futures here; it looks good. Platinum same, silver same. You know, just a few days ago they looked like a clear short candidate for some people.
Yeah, but I mean, there's definitely some parts where you could possibly short it, but I'm not really. It's not really too parabolic, like like they are. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, gold's made a huge move, but
I guess if you look at the platinum, that's the steepest one, I guess.
yeah, maybe platinum. Maybe you could argue that one's a little too quick there, and that one big massive down day from the top. That's
Yeah,
maybe
here
the
got
first
hit.
day. If you were someone shorting, you could maybe hit that thing.
Yeah. And
But
I guess it was a successful short if you kept it till this day, you know. You
right,
probably
right,
made a lot of money. Let's say something like this, 20%, yeah.
right. But yeah, so hang on, I just want to see one thing. Yeah, so my overall percentage for this week was 3.79 that I got. So that was from two different trades. One was for about 1%, and the other was the MBX was for 3%. And then all my losses, which there wasn't a ton that I got stopped out of, but only added up to 0.2%.
Yeah,
So like, that's
that's
the
very
kind of
good.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. So like that's where I'm really trying to get out of stuff quickly if it's not working,
So
and
which
that's the kind of like loss I'm at.
what was your position size on MBX then? In
It's
percentage?
30.
30?
Yeah,
On everything now, or?
I've been sticking with it just because then if something goes up 6% and I move my stop to 2, like I can always just do a third of whatever the percent up it is, and that's for the whole portfolio. That's what I'm locking in.
Yeah. Yeah, I regret I remember it's easy to sit here and say this, but this is actually true. I remember on FTAI, straight after I took it, I was like, oh, I should have doubled the position here. So this is like this is stuff that I just need to, because you need to take advantage of those opportunities when you see them as well. It is important for the overall performance in a year. It can make a huge difference.
Yeah, and just from a risk perspective, if we start to get into a better market where, like we were talking about, these longer swing trades go, I might move that number down to maybe 25% or
Yeah.
20%, and that way I can take a few more positions and my holds would be a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because I find if it's a market for swing trading, you should be doing that. You'll make way more swing trading than you will be doing like these in and out things like I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, too, the way I have it set up is if it turns into a swing trade market, I just kind of won't be getting out of my stocks as quickly. I probably will slow down just my breakout points or stop loss points, in
Yeah.
terms of moving them up. But if you think about it too, if I take a 25% position, now I need it to go up 4%, if I want to get out and get 1% in terms of my returns. So your stop loss will just be lower inherently because of those percentages. I don't know if that makes sense. It does in my mind.
No, yeah, it does make sense, but if you switch over to a small position size, if the market turns good, you get quicker turnover as well. So there are, which doesn't mean automatically that every trade will not be successful. So that's not always a good thing either. But if you start to hit a few names, you kind of want it to turn over a bit faster as well.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I mean, even with me taking these larger position sizes, that's not to say there's definitely gonna be times where I get screwed, and I
Yeah,
go in and I pull it up and I'm down like 1%, like
yeah.
right off the rip, and I just have to get out and just
But do
take
you
that hit.
still keep this over the weekend now in the environment we are in?
I'm not holding anything.
No.
No, as of now, I've still been selling at the end of day, no matter what, if I'm
Yeah,
holding it.
yeah,
Which honestly, I rarely get to. It usually pulls back enough it hits my stop.
yeah. Yeah, but that's a very good start though to 26.
Yeah,
I'm not at 3%, but I'm around 1 right now. I was up to 2, but this week I got stopped out a few too many times, and it did hurt my performance a bit. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the start, to be honest.
yeah. I finally got my dashboard all fixed, and I'm just looking
Nice.
through it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's moving. Home
Yeah,
builders look really good right now.
yeah. Home
So
bills. There was some news with Trump, right?
yeah, I know he's trying to work on, and I don't really follow the news all that closely, probably for the worst, but I don't want to listen to it.
Yeah,
Um, what do you call it? Something to do with the housing market, and they're trying to keep working on the affordability of it. You know what I mean?
yeah. I did see, because I adjusted this before the stream. But there was some real estate development groups that has come into the top performing groups for the quarter.
That's
So
one.
those type of tickers have you know gone up on the lists here.
Yeah, I haven't really been looking into too much for real estate. I mean, open is maybe the.
Open is a bit different though, because wasn't it
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying. It
there's a
doesn't. It's
story
not.
there? Yeah,
Yeah,
but Open also builds a long base. Holy
yeah.
shit!
Open's been going for forever. That.
Yeah, but downwards though.
Yeah, but look at Friday though.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, that's a decent little move up. And look
I
at the
mean
volume starting to creep up.
the move just for this year is it's almost up 30%.
I mean, if you look at like Monday, consider Monday, Tuesday. Well, I guess this is Friday, Monday, Tuesday as a bit of a flag, like as the pull part. And then I know there's a huge candle on the 7th, but then it tightens again on the 8th and then jumps up yesterday or on Friday. It looks like a bit of a flag. I'm
And
reaching. I'll
it's
take that. But
yeah. But it's also above the 50-day moving average. It's gapping up there, and that is a good sign. And it did pull back. Like this is the candle that we have seen a few of this week. Jumps up and pulling back at the end of the day. But still, Open is on one of my lists at least.
yeah, it's been on and off mine. I think I actually may have taken it off considering that it had already broken out.
From the bottom though, Dane, in June, so we're talking half a year, it's up 2,000%.
Yeah, it's wild.
So also that's something to keep in mind. Even if it is building a long base, it's healthy for this stock, I think, to pull back a little bit more than it has done.
Yeah. Yeah, it really has had some wild moves. I can't believe it was worth 50 cents in June.
Yeah, but special situation when you start that type of move and you are below $1, you're gonna get like so many multiples.
Yeah, this is one of those ones too where, you probably had retail push it up a little bit, or maybe a few institutions, come in right last second, and then there's just
I think there was like the CEO or someone was pumping this hard right here. I remember reading a little bit about it.
yeah, I vaguely remember the story, but I
Yeah.
did not follow it that closely. So I
No,
don't know.
I think if you go to the Open Insider, you see 11 of this November, the CEO purchased for 1 million. There has been like some directors purchasing for 5 million in total in September. So heavy insider buying.
Yeah, no, that's true. It looks good.
But that is up here, you know, in this area.
They're just pumping it.
Yeah. I'm a bit careful with open, but still, if you get a setup and it looks nice, why not? Sometimes you see what they can do.
Yeah, I also just of names I keep seeing kind of pop up. Interestingly, I saw ZBio had an insider buy now that it's way down here. So ZBio was one that had been on and off my list as it was breaking out before, and I had huge down day. I'm assuming bad news on something. But now you have insider buying down here at 16. And not that I would do anything with this. I just think it's interesting. And you have a bit of a wedge set up here, like as it could, gain some of this ground back that it, like overshot essentially.
Plummets 50% off the weak data for immune disorder drug. So
Yeah.
classic bio stuff, right?
Right. Which ironically, you always say this, well, we always all say this, but huge sign. I mean, look at the days before.
Yeah, it is true.
Just down day. And like it gets to the 50 there, it better be, that's someone getting out of their position because they know that news.
Yeah, and even here on 15th of December.
I will never believe that someone didn't know right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Or that other giant red candle on December 15th.
Yeah. No, it is true. It's things like this is interesting to look for in hindsight, to try to learn. But often we might interpret it wrong. Maybe this is not what happened. But often I think at least it makes sense to me that that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Someone wanted to get out.
Another one, and I'm just looking at insider buying because I keep trying to put these together because I just know they correlate so well with good choices. Is HYMC, Hycroft Mining, which I know we keep talking about mining. Now this stock's been killing it. It keeps setting up. And then we have just another insider buy.
Yeah, this one is on my list. And, the ants showed up recently here, Dane. And I kind of like where this is going. However, a bit extended for me at this exact spot. But if you can continue to move sideways, even pull back a little bit into, 20, a bit below 23, this will be very interesting again.
Yeah, well, I just think, and it kind of looks to me like it's doing a little like flag right there at the.
Yeah, no, I agree. You can easily draw like this, maybe something like this, and it looks good.
Yeah.
Maybe even a bit here further. So
yeah, but I'm saying even like a much tinier little flag. Yeah.
So and people are buying this like crazy. This is in the gold group, right? Mine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just interesting, just stuff I find interesting.
Yeah. And 10 in ADR. So that's the stuff that you want to be in.
Right.
If you go to like, let me check the other gold I have here. They all go. Just keep getting volume in. See, Groy was breaking kind of. Groy was also moving sideways for a bit, and then it looked like the move was finished, but then turned out it was not.
And it almost looks, if you're looking at Groy, maybe cup and handling sort of right now.
Yeah, and even if you go back a little bit, you could have taken it 6th of January. It's a pretty clear breakout, or even the
Yeah.
day before. Except
Yeah,
there
you
was,
can definitely draw a wedge there.
yeah, but it did break out there though on a little bit of low volume. So yeah, no, the gold there's still a lot of gold performing well. What is SSRM doing now? Oh yeah,
I
big
pull that up right now.
building a big sideways move.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah, that does look good, and that's very good. If you go to the weekly, this weekly chart looks very good. You do like something like this. Yeah, putting it on
Yeah.
my list actually.
Yeah, I just think there's such heavy like buying pressure coming into gold, and then all these companies kind of benefit from it, and then you get the indexes starting to pile into these things.
Yeah, imagine Dane, I bought this at 450.
I know, that's wild.
Oh damn, I sold too early on this one.
Where did you get out?
Around 11, I think it was. Yeah, here in April. Hold on. Yeah, it was in April. No. I don't remember which date, but it was around 11. So
Yeah,
here in
yeah.
this era here. Which at the time I was happy, and also it was like I was moving into swing trading. This was a deep value style. And the way my portfolio and everything was set up, I just wanted to also get out and start on the swing trading stuff,
Yeah, and it's funny too, because when I look at that area back in April,
Yeah.
this is why I feel like trading has helped me, like chart reading essentially, it's helped me so much. So you know how on the 28th of March you hit that 1148, and then you have that drop where it goes all the way down to like $8 on April 7th.
Yeah.
See, like if I was long-term trading now, or like doing deep
something like
value
this.
per se, if I saw that pull back and then it tapped that 100-day and then goes right back up, I would start drawing a wedge in that section. And if you do, it brings you all the way into like May 16th or 19th, whatever you want to call it. And then from there it kind of works its way up and then continues sideways until it breaks out again on whatever that is, the August 5th.
Yeah.
And
that was on earnings. And remember, I sold before the catalyst. I can only assume, I haven't updated myself on the story here, but the breakout on 5th and 6th of August, that came on our earnings report. I can only assume that there was some updates on the tragedy that was in Turkey, which I was waiting for, but the stock started to move before that. I was pretty happy before that news, because that news can also be negative.
Right.
So I was, but I can only assume that it has worked out well for them after looking at this chart. But there was a catalyst here all the way in terms of how are they gonna get that project up and running again. Because just look at where it was before. It started to drop from 15 to 10, and then the big fall. And then I got involved around here. Here, I think it was. Somewhere here.
Yeah, no, I remember you were, it was low when you got in.
Yeah. That's a deep value chart if you go to here, right? Nothing here talks about swing trading.
Yeah, it turned out to be the right call, though.
Yeah, it worked out well. But sold early.
Well, it's always easier to look back and say, I sold early. But yeah, you could have gotten back into this one, I would argue that.
Yeah, I could have. It's been on my list on a few occasions, and I've been very close to taking it.
Yeah, it's a little tough unless you draw a smaller wedge to get in on August, you know, that you possibly could have saw the August 5th jump and got in there. Because then if you wait till the 6th when it gaps up, it might be tough to even get in on that day with the gap up. So
Yeah, that would be like a EP move almost.
yeah, I would treat it like an EP if I was
Yeah.
gonna get in on that
Well,
day.
actually, it just gapped up like 6%, so EP should be a bit higher, you know. But yeah,
Well, that's why I mean if something gaps up like that, 6% in the morning, you can probably get in right
you
at
can
open.
probably get in. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're just watching it and that's your stock and you like that setup, you could have got in there for sure.
Yeah.
But
interesting now. I think I just put it back on my daily watch list because I kind of really like this pattern right here.
yeah, no, it looks good. What do you have for an ADR on this?
It's not the highest, 464.
That's not terrible though.
Yeah.
The volume's been drying up nicely.
Yeah, that's the thing. And on Friday, 19th of December, but also remember that day, I think, was the same day you got this bar, right? That was just a very positive day for the market, 19th of December.
Right.
But very low selling volume this entire time in the base. And on that run up, the ant showed up, and you just have this crazy volume coming in. Big institutions. If we check Whale Wisdom, maybe maybe you can find some funds that we like. Any new positions?
I mean, you know, it's mixed, but it looks like there's a good amount coming in there.
Yeah. I guess this is just a somewhat safe stock to own for some of these bigger funds.
Right.
You just get some exposure to the gold sector. They do have good fundamentals lately, though.
Yeah, I mean, not that I really give a shit about a PE, but I mean, its PE here is only 20.
Yeah.
I mean, 21-ish, but sure.
Yeah. Yeah, well. Good stuff.
And I'm saying it's only 20 as in like it could be 500, you know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
it can go higher.
What are your thoughts on QBTS right now, Dane? I saw.
I remember you actually. I didn't. I don't know if I had pulled it up. I remember you sending it to me.
Yeah.
Or saying that you
It's
saw
a
it.
little bit crazy because it's up and down, but it is definitely on the way up.
Yeah, it's just a little choppy for me, but it does.
Yeah.
I see what you see. It's choppy for me.
But you just know the history on this stock, you know. So I just wanted to watch it because if this starts to go crazy, you wanna the entire sector will, though.
You see how it's kind of doing that little wave pattern?
Yeah.
I would just like, you know, at the end here, something just
Straight sideways.
yeah, I just wanted to kind of go get into a line just where it looks more like a cup and handle at the very end here. Like, you know how like on, what is this, Tuesday and Wednesday, it was kind of starting to move sideways. And then Thursday, it dropped too much for me. But if it had moved sideways on like Thursday, I probably would have been really interested right there.
Yeah.
So I think there's just a little bit longer.
It's this doesn't matter. It's just like I'm trying to see if there's some news. They had some deal. This is D-Wave, right? Yeah. D-Wave stock in focus strikes 550 million quantum deal.
And when was that?
This was on January 7th.
And that was taken as a bearish news, huh?
Yeah, because this is a bit misleading, the headline, because we're in focus Wednesday after the company agreed to buy Quantum Circuits in a deal valued at 550. So it's an acquisition.
Gotcha.
So yeah, maybe the market didn't like or think they overpaid or something, but long term, probably a good. I see a lot of people speak about these types of stocks that they don't have anything of value and all that stuff, and that may be true. I haven't checked, but if you just look
I
at
feel like with this too, I mean, like you said, this doesn't have any earnings or anything. So like when it has like an acquisition like that, number one, it kind of fucks the balance sheet a little bit, it makes things look a little bit worse because they spent the money. And then, it's still adding to the narrative, like, is this going to even work?
yeah,
So I think the pullback's normal, I guess, which honestly, it's a pretty small pullback for if you were going to consider that as bearish news.
yeah. But the last, I will say this though, in the last 2 sessions, it's above 100 in RVOL as well. So, like you said, if we can get this selling now and it just continues to, move in this direction here,
Mhm.
that's kind of what you want to see here before something changes.
Yeah.
But if you look at the
That's a good
volume
one.
bars down here, it's just buying volume all the way, and to me that doesn't seem to have changed. So that's I'm gonna just watch it. And SNDK with a big move lately. I got stopped on this one. Annoys me because
Yeah,
this
that's what
one
I'm saying.
looks.
All these semis, they look good.
Yeah, this looks like this looks very strong actually. This stock right now.
I thought it looked really good going into Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. It
I mean, this one,
annoys me. I got
though, I
stopped
mean,
on.
I know what was it? I don't remember which one we were just talking about, but I mean, this one, I mean, I know it's worth $377, but it went from $40 to $377 in the past 5 months.
Yeah, after good earnings.
I mean, that's a wild move.
Yeah. This is up.
Such a
Yeah, well, not that much right now. 700%. So
Yeah.
a lot, of course, but nothing compared to 2000.
That wedge, when it first starts to break out, I think it's August 22nd. You can see it there. Man, what a run up if you had caught it way back then.
Yeah. And that's where the ants shows up in my chart here then. Just
Yeah, no, that's
volume.
definitely in my view, that's the earliest you could have got in and called it. I mean, that would have been perfect timing.
Yeah. But how much history do you have on this company? Sometimes you have longer history than I do.
Honestly, I don't know. I just know they're a semi. I don't know anything about.
My chart just goes back to 13th of February 2025.
Yeah, no, mine doesn't go back far. It's obviously they're a younger company.
Yeah. Because in that space, you would have probably in that time you were just talking about, you would have probably focused on some other leaders in the space than this, What do you think about QUBT though? We tended to check when the quantum names were strong. It was Rigetti and QBTS and QUBT and all those things. QUBT now acts a little bit different than QBTS, but maybe you can argue that there's like a W pattern here with some double bottom stuff going on, and that if it can,
Just in the last bit, there is a nice cup and handle.
yeah, true. And imagine if this, like a ton of other tickers we have seen lately, can break up violently above the 200-day moving average and just go a bit like this and start to build a base again.
I think this looks really good right here. I mean, it's starting to ride the 10 and the 20 now the 10's about to go above the 20. It's held this line of support at 1030 or whatever you want to call that for a while now.
Yeah. And if you look at the chart with the Rigetti, it's identical. The only thing is Rigetti is trading above the 200-day moving average, and QBT kind of fell below it. QBTS, the kind of like the same pattern, just sideways upwards.
Yeah, I have a hard time even knowing which one would be better to go into because they're very similar.
Yeah.
If
you pull up RCAT, maybe that's like has come a bit further in the move. Maybe that's turned out to be like a leading stock in the space.
And funny enough, I feel like I always remember RCAT was one of the first ones to move.
Yeah, and UMAC as well.
RCAT's super choppy though, but
yeah, they are tricky to get into, but it's just for tracking purposes. And if you get remember, we have talked 100 times about this setup here with Rigetti, because these stocks they do offer you setups, you know.
Yeah, and I mean RGT. Where is it from peak right now? Got up to almost 60, and now we're back at 24. So most 60%. Of these have. So there is potential for decent upside here.
Yeah, I mean, they are. These have broken down a bit, you know. If they come on another move and turns into a stage 2 trend, it's probably going to happen.
It looks like stage 1 right now.
Yeah, I agree. And then I'm not sure if SNDK is quantum, right? I don't really know. But in Finviz, they are grouped together in a group called computer hardware.
Yeah, I mean they're for flash memory. That's what SNDK does. I just was looking them up.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen that term, like the memory stocks.
Yeah. So yeah. And I mean all that stuff. It's all going together right now because you have to have all this processing power for these like AI and just GPUs in general. So
yeah,
it's all part of it.
And I was skipping another one, but UAVS is also one that has already started a climb up to, lower market cap though, higher ADR.
Yeah, this is a little
looks a bit scary, that one.
It's a bit jagged for me. I'm not.
Yeah.
This isn't really my thing, but
then you have WDC, which
Western.
Yeah. Pull back a little bit, but looks strong.
Yeah, it's strong. I just don't really see a set.
No, there's nothing there now. Just talking about like the potential leaders in the space.
But I mean, if you want to just talk like a straight up, like if you just draw a long ass channel, I mean, this has just been in a channel for forever. It doesn't even really break out or anything. It just keeps trending up.
Yeah.
Like I've seen that as almost like a chart. Like it just keeps going up. It doesn't necessarily like
a little bit every day.
I mean, there is some breakouts. I mean, you could argue easily 29th of October is a good breakout.
2nd of January was a breakout. No.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. You could call that a wedge there.
But low volume that day. Just below 80 R vol. It's not low, but it's not 100.
Yeah, but I mean, you had that huge buy day on December 19th.
Yeah, but that was the good day in the market.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. But you have that much coming in how much pressure that puts on for this to break out of this range. I feel like.
Yeah. Which is kind of what you see now in USAS. A little bit. If you look at the 7, it had a big volume bar on 11 of December, and just tons of buying coming in, and then 7th of January, another big one, which kind of, if you draw the lines, that was probably a good breakup, right? I mean, breakout right there. But I think you can still get into this one.
Yeah, I would argue it would be, I would look at that more like a kind of a cup with a little bit of a handle if you count Thursday, and then say Friday it's kind of breaking out.
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing, like I used to look at this and try and wonder how to figure this out, but when I see a big volume bar like that, and then I look at the candle and what the upside is of it, to me that's a great indicator of how much liquidity is there. Because for instance, when you go back to US or was it WDC,
Yeah.
you have that huge volume day, and it's such a small candle, which means there must have been a ton of liquidity available, because if there wasn't, this thing should have fired. You know what I mean? Like if you get that much volume coming in and it's mostly buying pressure and the candle doesn't do anything, that to me must indicate that there's a ton of liquidity, because the price didn't have to move at all.
Yeah.
And then, that's when all of a sudden you see all that volume dry up right afterwards, and then boom, it can take off because finally the liquidity is gone. But even after that huge buy day, it took that many days for that liquidity to dry up. Where then if you're looking at USAS, it looks like it could break out even more, because on that day, you see how much candle it moved?
Yeah.
So just saying, if you can compare the size of the candle versus so for the volume versus the price, I think it can kind of give you an indication of where you're at with liquidity.
Another mining company, of course.
Well, yeah, that's why I said that whole sector is just.
Yeah. Just before the stream, we didn't talk about this one. I think then SUPV, or did I mention it?
In a minute.
Because to me that looks a bit ready.
That's good.
It's a bank, I think, and probably in Latin America.
For sure.
But I put this one in my daily watch list here.
Yeah, it looks like it just needs to go a little further, but it looks good.
Yeah. Pretty 5.60 in ADR for a bank. That's not bad.
Yeah, I'm assuming because it's foreign.
Foreign, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, a $5 billion company still. So
yeah. Another one I'm waiting for a little bit is GSAT, Global Star.
GSAT.
It's in the process of building a base. Needs more, but I'm watching it.
Yeah, but there's some decent chart patterns in the previous run up. The stock does break out, so
yeah.
It's not the most clean. A lot of these breakouts would be tough, but there's definitely some setups in here I see.
And also something that it's not rocket science this, but after that top there, and you get those 3 bars down, often you see that, right? And then I kind of prefer the further you get away from that in a sideways move, the better it is. And right now it's like starting to, we have talked about this before, like a 3 wave of selling within the base. So that was wave 1. Maybe now is wave 2. Maybe you will see it come up. Let me draw it. Come up a little bit here, and wave 3, and it gets tighter and tighter, and then comes the breakup eventually. That's kind of what I'm waiting for.
Yeah, we'll see. Because now that it pulled back to the 50, that shows that number one, there is support there. And will there be enough support that once it, constricts down? I think this has a ways to go. But once it constricts down, if it can hold above it, it'll pop up. If not, it'll start to. This is the end of the stage 2.
Yeah. And I have to say that as well. There's a lot of tickers I've had on my daily watch list the last couple of weeks, maybe, that has actually just broken down.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. There's stuff every day that just
yeah.
breaks down. I just take it right off the list.
Yeah, I've seen those. Like, there's a lot of setups that reminds me like this one, and it just goes down here. Like, what was the solo one? Then QS something. What was it again? No, CSQI. Or
Was it the
something?
Canadian one?
Yeah, Canadian.
CSIQ?
Huh?
CSIQ.
That just broke down instead. You know.
Yeah.
That
Which, I mean,
was on
you know,
news.
it happens.
Huh?
I said, but yeah, you know, it happens.
Yeah, and that's why you want to wait for the actual breakout and not try to be early on something.
Yeah. And this is why if you're doing this style, it's so important not to be stubborn and average down.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that would have killed you
get
here.
murdered trying to do this. You're constantly going in at the highest price, you know, assuming it's going to go higher. You know, don't average down ever if you're trying this strategy.
Yeah, no, but you know, Dane, I've read this in the books and I've seen it so many times in the interviews, like a big point for people, and for me, that's never even a question to do anymore.
I think part of it is because a lot of people have the value approach, and you know,
Yeah.
Buffett and all those guys say you better be ready to take 50 to 75% losses and just hold through it, and then average down if you really like the company.
Yeah.
Where this is very short time frames in comparison, and when I say in comparison, you know, Buffett and those guys are talking about holding stocks for 10 years or more.
Yeah. But I'm talking about like swing trading books and stuff like that. They make it like a big point to never average down. It's like it doesn't even cross my mind. I want to get out.
Yeah, I think that's just to new traders.
Yeah.
Because they probably have heard at some point, oh, you know, you can just average down, or some friend tells them, oh, just average down. But if you're swing trading and or a trader, pretty horrible advice in terms of how it seems to work.
This stock CSIQ is actually a good example of something that could hurt you really much, because we were talking about earlier how you can see, and I think I said this to you in the chat, Dane, like the day here, I looked at the day on Monday as a positive sign because it did go down and it came back up into the base and actually finished pretty strong. But the next day and then the next day, it kind of fell off. And then after the close on Wednesday, there was news that they were going to dilute the shit out of the shareholders here. And you just see it gaps down. So if you kind of, let's say you bought this on the pullback here and then kept it in your portfolio, and then you are surprised by some negative dilution news, it has gapped down on you, and maybe then you are too proud to get out of the position, and now you just want to average down because just wait, this will turn around and get into the base again. That's your thinking, but that's not necessarily going to happen ever.
Yeah, and you don't want to hope anything.
Yeah, no.
Like the worst thing is when you're in something and you're hoping it does something, because good luck hoping.
But just from where it ended on Monday there, it's down 23%.
Yeah, and I would think that, okay, this is one of those ones that could recover and it could be okay. You gotta give it time. But with how heavy that selling volume is those past few days, it doesn't look good.
No. And if it does turn back up and sets up again, you're gonna notice it in your scans. So don't worry about it, you know.
And yeah, I just say with that heavy a volume coming out, it's gonna take a while for it to even set up again.
And you also have to include the selling volume around the top here, because that's also heavy. This is actually also a sign. I did like it in the base, but that was given that it does this, you know, and comes on volume. That's when I like it. When it did this instead, then you have to group it together with the volume here. That was pretty heavy actually after earnings report. So something is negative here. Maybe the move is done. It's over. maybe people saw that, oh, they are going to dilute in the near future here, something like that, and then
Well, and
that happened.
also, I feel like there's been now like 2 or 3 breakdowns in this chart. So if your top line there, if you draw that to December 19th.
Yeah. So here.
Draw to that, yeah, draw to that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like that. So it gaps up from there, but then it doesn't show any strength. It immediately pulls back down, and then it kind of forms like a cup with a bit of a handle, and it looks like a handle might start to form on January 5th.
Yeah.
But I think the warning there was you had pretty
This
high
one.
sell volume in that handle on the
Yeah.
5th, and then from there it just totally breaks down. But
Yeah.
there was warning signs that this tried to break out a few times and just couldn't do it.
Yeah. I guess in this era here also, then you could see like maybe someone will draw lines like this. It got really tight here, and then the breakout was Friday, 2nd of January. But the same point that you just mentioned, the day after, it did this. That should be a heavy warning sign to maybe I just trim the position or get out straight away because I didn't like that move. But at the day though, like I mentioned, I looked at it as it could be positive because it didn't want to break down. But then on the next day, it just confirms that, yeah, I want to go down anyways.
Well, this is why, in terms of execution, and why I keep saying how I keep adjusting my stop loss. So, for instance, if you did take it on, what was that, Monday? Or was that last Friday?
Friday.
The second, last Friday. So, if you had taken it on that day and you set your stop loss somewhere in there, on that next day when it does come back, you would
You're out.
get out. You wouldn't have to worry about it. And that's the whole point. If it was truly a breakout, it would have kept going up from there.
Yeah.
But since it does pull right back, that you get out without any pain, if hopefully it's at least break even at that point.
And if you did do that and you got stopped out, but then you saw, oh no, this is pulling back, I would have waited till the next day to see what it does then before jumping back in, because it can be sometimes tempting then to jump back in and use some kind of a thing on the intraday chart to time your entry. But when it does this, it's just like a signal. And then,
and like I said, with my whole thing being, I'm trying to see stuff that's just like taking off, that usually occurs pretty quick. So usually, like when I have my list of like 20 to 30 stocks, or the first 1 or 2 on that list that immediately show incoming volume and good price action, like almost that's what I'm going to be focusing on for almost the entire day, because those immediately show interest, where some of them do take a while. They kind of trickle in at some point, or on the intraday chart, like Johnny's saying, that you'll start to see a setup form. But usually my biggest movers of the day are the ones that just immediately take right off. So when you're talking about getting back in, you should have another chance to get back in if it's going to take off. And if not, you'll know it right away. Like they just break right down.
Going back to FTAI then, if you look at the breakout candle on 30th of December, that candle, it never came back down.
Right.
And you see that it did gap up, but because this is it's not a low ADR, but it's 5.6 almost, that gap up is only 2%.
Yeah.
So there was time for you there to go into it, and that's why I said I regret I didn't take a big position, because I was thinking straight away after I bought it that I should have taken it, because it just confirmed the action, just it's continued to go up that day.
And that first candle, I just went to the 1 hour candle for that day. It even at the peak of it, it's up 6.5%, which for me, that's like kind of a sweet spot for me. It's a little high. I'd like to get in a little bit before that, but you could have got in when the stock was up only 4 or 5%.
Yeah, exactly.
And then from there, same thing. You set your stop or use low a day, whatever you want to do, and it just never pulls back though. So then you're just in and you're good. You don't have to worry about it.
So even on 4% and using the low day as a stop, that's acceptable in my strategy at least.
Yeah.
And then of course it's easy now when you know how the move has gone, but that's
But
the
that's the
kind
thing
of
at the time,
candle
since
that
you don't, just set your stop and work on your timing.
yeah, but this is the kind of, with your strategy now, 30% into this position, and the candle just goes up on that day, you're already good the first few hours. You're good. You are not worried about this trade anymore, you know?
Right. And then from there, I just keep trickling that stop loss up.
Yeah.
And then if you go to the, can you go to a 1 hour chart for that area?
Yeah, which day on the breakout? 30th of December?
Yeah, 30th of December, yeah.
Yeah, 1 hour. Here we go, I think. These ones.
Yeah, and then, so see how it just travels sideways there for the rest of the day?
Here, yeah.
Yeah, so then there too, you know, I would keep my stop loss just below that whole base. So I think the lowest
Yeah.
I see in that base is, or maybe the first candle of the whole thing, the low is 191.
Yeah,
So I'd
here.
probably set my stop somewhere around there. And then once again, breaks out on the second or the next day. And then as that trickles up, you can move now your stop down to like the low of that around 200. And if you just, my goal with swing trade is just to keep doing this as it turns into a swing trade.
Yeah.
And if it works, you know, it just keeps going up.
Yeah, and
And that's
you
all I'm
will.
looking is to catch these moves. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care if I get stopped out of a bunch of other ones. I want to capture these ones correctly.
Yeah. And that move alone with a 30% position.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And you know, and that way I'm not necessarily even trimming. I'm letting my big positions ride. And if I get stopped out early, it's still for a gain on a 30% position.
Yeah. And these, like, you have to try a few times before you meet a stock that does this, but this is the same setup that we are talking about, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if you just do it, you will find them. How is your how are your scans now, Dane? I know I have updated my scans. I'm scanning now for strong 1 month gainers like Kulamagi. I got this from him. 3 month gainers and 6 month gainers. I have a high ADR scan. I have a 5-day performance scan. And then I have some scans that you can use intraday on your own lists. I'm not using them so much, but that's just more when I start to do the EPs. I'm going to use stuff like that. And then also for the pre-market scans, it's more EP based. But what are your types of scans right now? And I do this all after the close or before the open to create my watch lists.
Yeah, mine's very similar. Usually in terms of when I'm looking for stuff to add to my watch list, I have the same setup as Q does. It's the 1, the 3, and the 6. High ADR, it's got to be up a certain percentage over those time periods, which gets adjusted whether it's 1, 3, or 6 month. Good dollar volume average in terms of how much money's coming into it. I don't worry so much. I used to put market cap in there, and I actually took it totally out because I feel like as long as the volume dollar is there, like it kind of helps me because if it's a smaller market cap and it has a good dollar volume coming into it, it'll pop up on my screen. But it's usually bigger companies. Like the smallest that usually come into my screens is maybe like 100 million or more.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't really pop up much below that. Usually like small would be like 300 million, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's a bunch of stuff above that.
But
yeah, so those, and then that's how I look at the leaders. I just make sure that they've had already a first move. And I didn't do anything crazy. I kind of stole Minervini. I think he says 25 to 30%, or I don't know who the hell says it. One of those guys say it. Somewhere in that region is what I do. And then, you know, when I do my market strength, I have all those, which just pull in my numbers and stuff like that. So that's kind of how like I judge the markets.
So not much intraday stuff.
I'm sorry.
You're not screening so much in a active session intraday.
No, because I used to do it where I would screen intraday and I would look at 52-week highs and current stuff that's breaking out by using just percentage up. But I found that if it doesn't have a good setup and it's not already like a leading stock, it's just noise when you're doing it that direction. So instead, now I have my setup already found, it's already a leading stock and it's in my current list. And when one of those pop, those are the ones that catch my eye now, because
Yeah.
it's already went through all my back testing to say that this is something I'm interested in and the setup looks good. So then on that day, if anything does break out, it'll be right on my list at the forefront so I can try and, figure out what I want to do like immediately.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then, like you said, too, the biggest failure part of my strategy right now is you just get stopped out, which is fine. You just got to get back in and wait for the setup. And some days you just miss them, which is but it's at a huge protection of downside. That's why I do what I do.
What is your max stop loss? 2%?
I mean, ideally, no. It's as soon as it's not up, like, and I'm really not kidding. If I bought something and it's at $25 and I buy it and I look back and it's at $24.95, I'll probably sell it right there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to take essentially any loss. I mean, and I know people are like, well, how do you get into them? Because trust me, there's days where something just takes off and I'm not looking at the tape. I'm looking at, I'm just refreshing the price. And if the price continues to just kind of trickle upwards, that's a time I can get in. And so sometimes, it pops back and I'll get kicked out and then I'll go right back in. If it like, sometimes I just get unlucky, but that way I'm only down a little bit. It's super small increments. And like I said, it's not perfect. I'm not saying I can't buy and all of a sudden something drops 1% and I take the hit. That is what it is. But at least my initial approach is is as much risk adverse as I can be.
Yep.
But yeah, I think I got to start to end it here, man.
Yeah, that's fine. It's almost 1.5 hour. I think to sum it up a bit positive now, looking forward, but the things can change quickly, of course. There's a lot of strong moves already, perhaps in an early stage 2 trend that we have seen. We looked at the miners and the gold and silver looks still strong, which was a bit surprising after what happened a few days ago, I think. And just overall, things seems to break out a bit. But for me personally, it's been still a bit struggling to get into names and hold my position. But I've been lucky on a few that has covered all the losses already. So that's good,
Yeah. I'm pretty excited going forward. Like I said, I feel like for the first time, the setups to me keep becoming clearer and clearer. It's almost hard to look at a chart now and not my brain just didn't immediately start dismantling it and trying to find setups.
Yeah.
Which isn't how it used to be. I used to look at charts with no clue what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And now just like the general nuance of and like you said, I'm just working on execution now, trying to get in things and really time things well.
Yeah.
So
did you see I sent you that guy, like the short beer or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
He was up 25% in year to date.
Well, like you said, he's, if he's using options and stuff,
I think I think he confirmed that he did. He's, by the way, going to be in the next Market Wizard book, so it's not an idiot, He's,
I would be interested to see what he's doing and how he approaches it, because my strategy works because of the low downside protection.
He was involved in Bitcoin. I know.
Options.
Yeah. He caught this move here in Bitcoin from January 1st to 5th. That's enough it wasn't a big move, but I think he played with some instruments that I have no idea about. But that next Market Wizard book will be a good one.
Interesting. Yeah, he's trying to buy stuff right out of the base.
That I didn't mention this, Dane, but I also read some other guy. He has some interviews on Trader Lion. He's from Greece. I don't remember his name, but every time he has been interviewed, I think he makes a lot of sense, and he does a lot of work, I know, on his own studies and stuff. And he talks about he's building a system now, apparently, where he tries to catch like the personality, I guess, of each individual stocks, because in his studies, and this is something I've been thinking about as well, but it's been a bit hard for me to confirm it, because everyone else say like, oh yeah, you should look at the group strength, you should look at the fundamentals, like all those basic things. But stocks with no fundamentals can still have high moves. Stocks that are not in a leading group, but it's also even lagging, can still have a high move, like a big move. So these are just general rules that most of these setups find place in, I guess. But you can still outperform and find other things than these, universal accepted rules that you should look for. And that was a point that he was making about the software he's creating, that he is ignoring a little bit all of those things. And I was thinking that this guy, the short bear, he is thinking a bit different, with because he took I saw he tweeted about even that he was heavily into crypto and Bitcoin down here, and that's like not something you hear in the classic swing trading books.
Yeah, but I do see a good pattern here. So if you look at it like this, let me just pull up the chart so I can point the days out to you. Well, what in the world? Hang on. So if you consider that there's like a line of support around 84,000.
Yeah.
It dipped there, bounced up, came back down, dipped there, and then it kind of looks, if you look at, it's got to be like December 15th in there, that last little pocket down there. It kind of dips all the way down on December 18th, then pops back up on December 19th. I know it's only a 2 or 3 day thing here, but if you consider this like a small cup, and then you consider from like December 19th, sorry, I'm gonna sneeze, to like December 30th as like a large handle.
Yeah.
And then somewhere around
he took it here.
January 1st, you consider that the start of it to break out of the handle. If you're a nut and you take options right there, I see that as a potential pivot.
I think he also used Ethereum, because Ethereum moved a little bit quicker.
And same pattern with that. I mean, those two are traveling or trading identically.
But to get like a confirmation, that the group is about to move. But yeah, it's just like.
I was going to say,
yeah.
Here you go. You go.
I found it just interesting too, because I have been thinking the same, that there must be, we have talked about how stocks and stuff can have their own personalities and all that stuff, and you need to look in the past on big moves and what they did then to maybe decide which moving average and stuff like that you should use. But there are other qualities as well that you can find in terms of what drives each individual stocks. Like some moves up on news, some doesn't, some move on inside buy, some do a combination of heaps of things. But you can't get away from the fact that stocks can move on anything really, which is almost impossible to figure out what to look for then. But there are definitely other ways to think about swing trading, I think, than just the traditional ways. Like look at the fundamentals, you know, screen for the weekly, screen for the daily, have some parameters that you refuse to take things on, like, but that involves a deeper study, I think, and I don't have time right to even start. Plus, I want to master this one setup before I do anything else.
Yeah, no, what I was going to say is because I kind of think of it backwards. I know a lot of people say that you should look at the sectors and find the leaders in those sectors and find the leading sectors. I take the opposite approach. I'm looking at my stocks that are performing well, and if I see 3 or 4 that are in the same sector, now I have a little bit more belief in those ones, because if they look like they're starting to set up, there's 4 or 5 of them in the same industry. Now I just know that sector is about to break out. So, and same thing in terms of this, if you're the short bear and you're looking at this and you got Ethereum's chart looking just like Bitcoin's chart, and they both look like they're ready to break out, they follow the exact same patterns. I mean, institutions must be shaping that pattern essentially. Or at least a lot of big money. I mean, I guess it could be retail, but it's got to be a lot of money. So if they're all coming in and having that same setup, that would probably maybe give him enough confidence in directionality to make a decision, you know,
to try something. And I think I don't exactly remember. I think he also said like things can change quickly, so he was prepared to go out straight away. But he probably didn't need it because he timed it perfect.
Right.
And that's why he's in the Market Wizard book.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's why he has money.
Yeah. But MicroStrategy, before we go here, if Bitcoin, if that is the thesis that these cryptocurrencies are going to go up again, if you want to buy stock, of course, everyone knows this now, is MicroStrategy. But I think the chart also here looks a bit interesting down here. And if all of this happens, like I just said, MicroStrategy has a very big potential to also be a leading stock, you know, in that move.
Yeah, I have a hard time knowing what the hell's going on with this company.
Yeah, but I have to say though, in 2026, actually, from 2nd of January, there's some buying volume coming in finally after there's heaps of selling, you know. But of course, this is just tracking.
Like it may be forming somewhat of a base, but
yeah, this looks a
the
bit
problem with MicroStrategy too is if Bitcoin gets down to just past a certain point, it's almost like a bank that took on too much leverage. It could collapse. So there's, I mean, I don't know it that well. I know they do all kinds of things, and I know companies use them to play Bitcoin. But I just don't know how the math all turns out. But
this has also the potential to turn into something that is just different, like Tesla and Bitcoin itself. You know, it's just, it doesn't really follow sensible rules, but it still follows like setup rules and stuff like that. You can still trade it,
right?
But it doesn't need to make sense in the real world, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Finishing there.
Yeah. I feel like we covered anything I've been looking at.
Huh?
I said I feel like we covered anything I've been looking at.
Oh yeah, I agree. And just hopefully next weekend comes and we are still positive.
Right. Yeah, it'll only take 1 week to, you know.
Yeah, but that's how it is right now. It's like we need some confirmation.
Yeah, I mean, either way, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that looks pretty good that's moving well, and you can't ask for much more than that.
No.
But and so guys, if you're just tuning into this, or we post everything in Discord, and on top of that, Johnny and I, just in terms of transparency, we've been posting our watch lists in the morning so you can see what we're looking at. And I post the market strength so you can have an idea. And sometimes I put a note saying like what I'm thinking at the time, but not always, because sometimes it just doesn't really change, you know, my thought process. But that way you can see what we're looking at, and you in the morning you could see what moves, and I'm trying to be as transparent as possible about
Yeah,
my
it's
process here.
something we implemented recently, and just also for anyone who wants to try to do swing trading, it can function as a screener in itself. Just go through the watch lists that Dane and I set up, and if you like some of the tickers, okay, then you found a ticker maybe from our watch list. So it's just to try to give some value to the Discord as well.
Right.
Not that heaps of people are taking advantage, but that's our philosophy with the entire channel, right?
Well, I just want to say this before everything blows up and we get super famous.
Yeah.
That this is as much detail as I feel like you could get provided in what we're doing. And as of right now, like we said, things look good. So I'm pretty excited going into this year how things are going to look.
Yeah.
Now, like Johnny said, it could be just a bad environment for everything, or we're just getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're close right now to finding success, and it's just crazy that that no one's here yet. No one's here.
Yeah, they will come. They will come. It's not our problem, then.
That's true. We're putting in the work.
Yeah, and also in the Discord channel, you get the stuff that you don't get anywhere else in terms of deep insight into stuff. For example, latest stuff that we posted now was that Jim Cramer, he was pretty bearish. So
we're doing the opposite. And now I actually saw that Jim Cramer's inverse ETF outperformed Nancy Pelosi. So, I mean, that pretty much speaks for itself.
Yeah. That's amazing, actually. So when we post that in the Discord, it's serious. It's serious stuff.
These are tidbits, guys. So you can just thank us later for the next for the next group that we all try to encourage.
Yeah.
I just like to say everything we said is pretty much nonsense. Don't take any of our advice. And don't
treat it as nonsense, and always listen to Snoop. He's in the start of every stream. Always listen to his advice.
Yep. Next week we'll probably blow up our accounts and just end the stream. All right, guys. So
when we get so big that all the people comes to the channel, then we will probably disappear, right? Like they all do. When they get big, they disappear.
Well, to some point, you don't want to give away too much.
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry if the strategy really takes off.
This is now. You need to take advantage of it now,
guys. So you gotta take it while it's here.
Yeah. All right. See you next weekend then.
See you, everybody.
Bye bye.